Lyndon Arthur is back, ready to stake a claim for a shot at world glory when he takes on Argentina's Walter Gabriel Shechiera. Part of a huge night of action on Saturday, September the 17th. It's live and free on Channel 5.
This is Charlie Parsons for Boxing Social in association with Betfred. I've seen a lot of you on the page recently, Joe, but I haven't been able to catch up with you one-on-one myself. I know Ali Drew did a bit with you, so no stranger to the channel at the minute. How are you, my friend?
Yeah, all good, mate. All good, all good. Here we are in London again.
Just been touching on the things that are going on in the gym for you guys. Obviously, Natasha Jonas, we've got to talk about that first. Moving up weight, everyone said that she couldn't do it first time round. People doubted her the second time round. People keep doubting Tash, and she always proves them wrong. She is now the unified champion in what was an incredible, incredible performance. A happy night for you, a happy night for the gym, and a proud moment. You know, she could have been on that blockbuster bill. Obviously, it was postponed, but she wouldn't have known that. But she wanted that homecoming. She wanted to provide for her fans.
Yeah, no, exactly. It was a phenomenal achievement when you think where she's come from to where she is now. And to be unified world champion and to be a bona fide world champion who was no mug. Bergout was a good champion, good amateur wins over Lauren Pope and that. And I say Natasha, they did want her to fight on the big show last week, but she was adamant she wanted to fight in Liverpool. She wanted to give something back to Liverpool, and it was great to see everyone turn out and support her. And that memory, it's hard to beat becoming a world champion in front of 20,000 at Manchester Arena, but then to go out and win another world title, the WBC, in front of your own fans in Liverpool, it's a moment she won't forget, and I'm very proud of her.
Thank God she did, because obviously with the postponement, everyone was speaking all week about how that would affect fighters. Just on your side of events, obviously we've seen that the fight's now been pushed back to October the 15th. But if you had a fighter in that situation, obviously Tash doesn't struggle to make the weight she's coming up in weight, but you know, when you've weighed in, you're ready to fight, and then you're told, look, the fight's on October 15. How do you create the right mindset for a fighter if you were in that environment?
No, listen, huge disappointment, especially for fighters that are making weight. And from what I hear, people had an et for nearly a day and took fluid on, and it's quite a stressful thing. It's one of the little battles in the war, and making weight is one of them. And to get there, and there's people come over from America, they're making weight, they're flown over, the friends, family are flown over, and for it all to go out, and not so much that, but also the undercard, low down on the card, you had girls there, big show, big experience, and trainers, managers, fighters all coming away without any money. Footballers will still get the weekly wage.
Salary, yeah.
Yeah, and the golfers and everything else, and the cost of living at the moment now of inflation and everything else, it's hard, and I just wish whoever's fault it was, whether it was the British Board of Control or Sky or whoever, but footballers, golfers, Formula One will still get paid, and they've got to wait another 4 weeks, and hopefully none of them kids have mortgage payments, are behind the mortgage payments. And you got to remember, I think it's 3 in it, that you miss your third and there's repossession talk, isn't there? So they are very stressful times for athletes, and people don't really get that. They just say, oh, it's changed in a month, but they've mostly spent that money before they've even earned it, because it's paid out to pay for this camp and everything else. So, and then to go away then and reset, and you're not starting from scratching. Well, where do you start in camp again now? Do you know what I mean? Do you start 2 weeks out, 3 weeks out? How many rounds do you go back in sparring? Where are we on our diet? Because you need to release a little bit and have a few feel good meals. But yeah, I felt sorry for all of them on that bill, not fighting last week.
Well, I don't want to keep you for too long. I appreciate your time. I'll ask you a few more. Obviously, Marcus Morrison fights tomorrow night. Just caught up with him. Looked in tremendous shape on the scales, I must say. Look, not to be maybe the last couple of times out, but he's just said to me he's up for it. He's ready to stand and trade. He's ready to box. If he wins this, he becomes the A-side. He gets to dictate. A massive motivation, especially with the successes of your camp in recent history.
Yeah, listen, it's a huge opportunity for Marcus. Marcus hasn't been one to shy away from a challenge. Eubank Jr., Zach Parker went over to Italy and got the win. So Jason Wilburn went on to be British champion. But like I was saying to Marcus on the trip down today, you've got a chance to become a British middleweight champion. You've got to look who's been a British middleweight champion before you. Randolph Turpin, Ted Kidd Lewis, Alan Minter, Tony Simpson, Harold Graham, Frank Grant. That's a stellar, and sometimes people lose sight of what the British title, middleweight title, and the history that brings with it. And Marcus Morrison's got a huge chance. Like I said to Mark Heverin before he fought Lennox Clark, you've got a great chance to put your name in that Lonsdale belt and join our list of legends that's gone before you.
Well, moving on, let's talk a little bit about Anthony Joshua. Obviously, all the news at the minute is surrounding Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury. Will the fight get made? I just want to get your thoughts quickly, recapping on the fight with Alexander Usyk, the rematch. I believe, I was there on the night, and I haven't been able to watch it back yet, so I haven't seen the commentary or the corner work or whatever, but I believe Robert Garcia said after the first couple of rounds that he was clearly winning. Do you believe that there should have been more intensity in the corner? And obviously a lot of comments afterwards about, maybe not enough people saying it straight to Josh.
Yeah, maybe. I think there's always been the claim, and there's lots of people. See Barry McGuigan coming out saying it the other week. There's a lot of people around him that just want to keep getting the check, the free tracksuit or whatever it is. And it's not like Garcia, they just pulled him in. They went on a scouting trip. They went and had loads of camps in America of lots of older trainers like Ronnie Shields, etc. And that's who they decided on. But it was strange to find that he was outside of the ropes, and it reminded me of the days of Naz when he had Emmanuel Stewart and what was the coach at the time, but they had the two coaches in the corner taking rounds in, and listen, someone needed to take control of it in the fight and after the fight, but it is what it is now. And if that Tyson Fury comes off, it's got to be a great event for British boxing. You've got Ben Eubank, you've got that coming up as well, so I see Usyk there now. He's got to go out and watch Deontay Wilder's fight against Helenius. So listen, if it comes off, it'll be fantastic. But like anything in British boxing and in boxing itself, we always get ourselves hyped up, believing, and then we always get the kick in the bollocks, don't we, when it doesn't happen. So believe anything until the bell goes.
We talk about the kick in the bollocks. I caught up with Anthony Crolla last week, and this was before we'd had any of the developments on the talk between Joshua and Fury. And sort of, I know I've got to do it from an unbiased perspective, but I sort of kept saying to people, like, I'm getting a bit tired of asking about Joshua Fury, because for 3 years, even when I was doing Zooms back in COVID, it was all the talk, to the point where people couldn't really take it seriously. Do you feel like now, with the statement that 258 have put out, that there's a bit of a shining light? But then, like you say again, until it's made, until we see those two fighters in the ring, it feels like it's not. Like, how can we believe it until they're there?
Well, like they say that there's all smoke screens and red herrings and huff and puff, and listen, until the day there's a contract signed, and even then I won't believe it till fight week, and even then I won't believe it till the first bell goes. So when the first bell goes, I'll believe it.
And just finally from me, Conor Ben, Chris Eubank, a fighter, catch weight. Obviously the fight would have never been made without the history between the two dads. I believe they're on tour at the minute, but we've seen Senior come out and he said, look, I'm not allowing my son to fight at 157. He's not fought at that since before he was 18 in his amateur career. I interviewed Callis Sauerland, I interviewed Harlem Eubank. They said, look, no, Senior and Junior have a little bit of a conflict of interest. Senior isn't the mouthpiece for Junior. The fight is still going on ahead. Do you understand the comments from Senior?
Yeah, 100%. He's been involved in a fight where he's ended up putting Michael Watson that time into a situation he knows. The hard fights he's been involved with, Ben won, and obviously then with Michael Watson, so he knows. And I don't know why there's this veil of not letting everybody know what is the hydration clause. Is it because they don't want to take away, if Conor Ben pulls it off, the magnitude of the win, that from what we're all hearing, Eubank Jr. is only being allowed to put 5 pounds on, be 162. If he makes the weight that they're asking him to do, make a weight that he's never done before, then let him go and hydrate as much as he wants, and that's the fight. But I said before early on, it's just a shame really that we've got this Conor Ben and Eubank Jr. It's for no title, as far as I'm aware. It's just like years ago, would we have seen Kirkland Lang against Alan Minter, a welterweight against a middleweight? Nah, and that's what I think. Like, well, Conor Bennett's not fought. No, we're not fought for no titles. I don't think, or not any of the central, southern area, English, British, Commonwealth, European. So we don't really know what we've got. Eubank Jr. is. Eubank Jr. showed in his fight against George Groves what a hard man he is, and I just think to myself, well, how would Conor Ben do with George Groves? I think they're really. Whether it's a cash grab and then he'll go back to making weight, but I don't know. But I'm a Eubank Jr. fan, and I just want this hydration clause to be made public and to everyone to know what it really is. If the kid makes the weight, then let him hydrate to whatever he wants to be.
Just finally from me, how does that fight go? Do you expect Eubank Jr. to do enough?
Yeah, I expect Eubank Jr. I expect Conor Benn to box a little bit more, go on the back foot, walk Eubank onto him a little bit more. But I've just seen Eubank when he fought Yildirim, he's fought out in America, he's spiteful, he can hit, and it was only early on in his career, but Conor Benn, I think, got hurt in one of his only fights. I think Eubank Jr.'s been the bigger the better, and been on the bigger stage, and it's a whole new experience for Conor Benn. And listen, it's an event, and that's where it's an event.
Well, Joe, 10 minutes wrapped up. A great boxing brain. Thank you very much for your time.
This September, bad blood will be settled.
This is more than personal.
The long-awaited trilogy.
There's real bad blood here.
Canelo versus Triple G. September 17th, live on DAZN pay-per-view. Visit DAZN.com.